Okay, so as you can see here, my top score is 29, and for a long time I think it was 27. And so I'm just going to spend an hour or so trying to beat 29. If I don't, I don't, but I'll try to explain at least my thought process going along with each one. Let's go. Okay. So, immediately what I see is early on when you got these lower rated ones, they tend to be the back rank checkmate. I see here, looks like we got check. Looks like we're gonna have two more checks. Check, check, checkmate. Right, and just yeah. So white to move. Again, something similar here. So, but here's what I also see. I see that the pawn is protecting here, right? So it may be not exactly the same back rank mate, but um, once we move our rook here, it's blocked. The king can't get away anyway. So white to move. Um, so so here's another thing that I struggle with when it comes to puzzles. I don't always take a look at the whole board. Um, Initially, my thought is, oh, I can't try to take with the queen because there's nothing over here immediately that I see protecting it. Well, if I look back here, the queen is protected from the bishop, so I can confidently take and checkmate. So white to move. Okay, so I do see here that this whole area is protected. So the king is kind of restricted there. I'm thinking, however, that if I bring my queen here, takes, I then bring my rook here, and the king cannot go here, cannot come here, cannot come here. So that's what it is. So bring in the queen, give it up, and checkmate. Okay. Black to move. This one looks like it's easy. I'm going to come in with the kiss of death, right? The king's going to scoot. I'll bring in my queen. Queen will take, and then I've got my back ring checkmate. So check, check, checkmate. Okay, 6 in a row. I like it. Black to move. So I think this is again one of those little kiss of death, and then yeah, checkmate. Okay. So white to move. Right, if I bring it in there, it's checkmate, right? Yes. Checkmate. Okay. Okay, black to move. I feel like if I bring over the rook, the king can take my pawn. So maybe that's not it. Maybe I bring in, I bring in the pawn for check, takes, bring over this rook, and the rook has to move and I can take their rook. So check. Nope. Okay. That's no good. Especially at a 600 rated puzzle. So, um, I think this is just checkmate with one move. Okay, checkmate. Um, it's frustrating. I usually like to try to get to at least puzzle number 10 before I make a slip up, but looks like we only made it to 8. Um, okay, is white to move. I believe we've got check. Is that mate right there? No, okay, I see. Oh, one of my favorites. The old smother mate. Um, okay. Um, dun, 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 dun. So if I bring the queen here, it's check. Rook can't protect. Queen can't protect, rook can protect. So I think if I come out here with a check, I'll have two more checks and then mate. Check, check, mate. Okay. Whenever it comes to these ones with trades involved and it looks like there's active bishops and knights, I do struggle with this. So takes with check, so it's forcing that they're going to have to make a decision there on whether to take with their knight, their queen, or their rook. I honestly don't know which one's better. Probably the rook. But taking there does allow some pieces to come alive and get active. I don't know that I like that, and I don't see the benefit of that trade other than just a trade has occurred. So if I move there, does anything else come open? Not that I see. So I don't think that that's it. If I get my knight out of danger, and they take my knight there. Oh man, I'm not good at this. Well, I guess here's another question. Is that even a forcing move? Typically these puzzles are looking for a move that's a forcing move. And I just don't see it. Yikes. There's a forcing move that brings over a queen and nothing. This is why I don't do the time controlled ones, because I'm slow. I gotta think these things through. Okay. Check. Takes. I think it's here. Okay. So takes. Ay, ay, ay. If I bring out the bishop, do they take? Because this. Wait a minute. They've got a piece hanging. Okay. I'm ashamed of how long that took me to see. Okay, so I think this is another one of those little kiss of death, sacrifice, checkmate. How it was that other one was a lower rated puzzle, I don't know. That one was a lot easier. Could just be me. So, I feel like check, right, you move. So check. Oh, I've got their rook. Bloop. Little X-ray. Little okay. Black to move. So I've definitely got a bunch of opportunities for check. Here's a check that comes with taking a piece. If I move on over to e5, it can be blocked. I don't like any of this. Let's go with the move that takes a piece. Check. Okay. And then, okay, so right here, the king right now, he's got one open square. If I plant my queen right here on f2 for checkmate, I'm just taking a quick peek. The queen from a distance can't attack. Knight's too late. Rook's too far away. Check. Okay, so I think this looks to me like it's just a fork and a capture, but why don't we take a look at that? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe this is a checkmate. So fork. No, take that back. Okay, I was wrong. I think this is just a fork and a capture. Okay. I hate when I think I've got it solved and then there's just like one additional move. Okay, so we're on puzzle number 16. One mistake so far. It's all right. Okay. So I don't see anything where I'm going to. I'm gonna take it back. So here's what I don't see. I don't see anything that's going to immediately get me a check. But what I do see is just a hanging piece right here. Their bishop on f6. So okay, my bad. We'll go back and review that. Black to move. Black to move. If I was in this position, I'd just be pushing pawns, but let's take a look here. Pawn. 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 Okay, yeah, that's what I do in a game, so it must be good. So here I see a check that I like, right, because it's protected. Take the G pawn. Yeah, check. I think this is where I'm going to like fork the king and the queen, if you want to call it that. Check. Oh, wow. This has to be just check. Okay. Okay, black to move. Okay. So I think here it's just pushing the pawn, right? Because we go from h7 to h6, can't take, can't take, can't take. It's, stuck where it is. He's and the rook protects. So I think we're just going to push a pawn. Check it. Okay. So what do I see here? So I see a knight takes, and that's no good. Bring in the knight, takes. Man, I don't like any of this. What happens if I take with the queen? Takes. I don't like any of this. Push, takes. Whoop. Push, takes. Man. Okay, I think I see what I'd like. And just kidding. Okay, so 19, they say good job, but I don't feel that way. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. So typically, upon review, I can get them pretty quick. So, what was it that I was wrong about? Is it just that we want to bring in a check? Okay. If you say so, chess.com, I will learn from it. But let's go back. So let's think this through. So what was my original one? My original one, I think, was that I wanted to take with the pawn, because they would take with their rook without realizing that that puts me in check. I think that's what I what I didn't think through. Right, because if I push the pawn, they can take with check. I can't just then bring over my rook, which I think is what I had in mind. So, so again, forcing move, put the king in check, put the king in check, and then take the rook. Okay, I see. I don't know what I was thinking the first time around. So this one, let's go ahead. Okay, so I think my original move was, to take. That was incorrect. So, what? I mean, is it just takes there? Okay, because I'm definitely struggling to see, at least initially, why that's the better move. Got it. Got it. Okay. So, if I take here, it sets me up to bring in my queen for a checkmate, forcing the queen to take the pawn to prevent it, and I've now got their queen. So, okay, makes a little bit more sense now. Okay, so this is one that we just attempted. Okay, so, oh yeah, this is what I did, is I pushed the bishop. Maybe it's the knight? Nope. Nope. Now I'm just guessing. Okay, so that's the move. Okay. So this is the winning move? What? Okay. So let's just say that I take, they take. I'm trying to think this through, because I always want it to make sense. Like, what is it that I'm not saying? So take, 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 take. So, fair trade. Okay, so I think what ends up happening there is I just end up up a rook, right? So takes, 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 queen takes queen, rook then takes a queen, and I end up a rook. Man, sometimes I just don't see them. So for that to be a 1200 rating, and then the next one was just back rank mate, I don't know what algorithm puts these together, but agree to disagree. What? 20 minutes? Okay. Let's go again. Okay, so if I take the rook here, it is check. Or I could bring my queen here. I think this is probably the route to go. Oh, okay, not only do I think, but I'm in check, so it's the only route to go. Check. Okay, that was easy. Okay, so white to again, forcing here because I'm currently in check. So I want to say I must have to go to F1, because if I come to H1, any movement from the rook is going to leave me in a discovered check. So I can't take because it's protected, but okay, so F1, that was okay, doable. So first thing I notice, I've got the diagonal cut off, so the queen can't escape, king can't escape. So if I bring up my G, my rook on G, I'm going to have a check and then a checkmate. So check, checkmate. Okay, so if I bring out the bishop, okay, I've got a check. Is it checkmate? Because this bishop's also got this diagonal, so it wouldn't be able to go anywhere. I think it's checkmate. Okay. Okay, so I think this is one of those check, check, checkmates where if I bring the queen here, right, best you can do is block, takes, block, takes. I think that's what it is. So just check, check, checkmate, check, check. Okay. They're not going to make me do the whole thing. Sometimes they do. So I do see, so the first thing I saw was the knight with the check, but that's taken. I can see the queen. That looks like a checkmate, actually, because I don't see what else the king can do. Okay, so immediately I want to take, take. I feel like it's a... I'm just up the exchange, I think is what I see there. Okay. Black to move. Okay, that was simple. See, at first I thought it was here. If they take with the knight, then I'm really in some trouble. Okay, they can take there. Man, I don't like any of these. Ooh, okay, so maybe my rook protects the bishop. There we go. I'm gonna bring the bishop up. There we go. Okay. So again, here I think is one of those back rank checkmates. Right, so check, king scoots, check, takes, checkmate. I think that works. So check, check, checkmate. Okay. Hey, we made it to 10. It's just got to be here, right? Because the rook's protecting me. Okay. So here's... So I think it's just here's checkmate because the king is being cut off on each of these squares because of the queen. Each of these squares is cut off from the knight. Oh, whoops, sorry. Each of these three are cut off from the rook, I meant. And then, of course, so checkmate. Okay. Again, another one of those kiss of death. And then the actual mate comes. Okay, so hey, we made it to 13. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, is it check with the rook? Ooh. Is it check with the rook? Takes. And then the queen all the way back? This has to be it. Okay. That was kind of messy. That was congested. Okay, so move 14. So I feel like I just bring over the right check. Can't take, can't move. I think this is just. Wow, it's a couple different checkmates, right? Because it's a discovered checkmate. Okay. Um. Okay, so this feels too easy. Nope. Okay, I see. I'm gonna have to use the queen to make the king scoot. So first I'll go with a check, force it to move, and then back rank mate. Right? Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, and I've got you a check. 1, 2, 3. I think I just and you got me a check, but I get there first, right? So it's 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. So I win. Oh. Okay. White to move. Okay. Um. So nothing's threatening that king, at least for now. So, this. I'm not worried about this knight for the time being. This queen is definitely causing some trouble. Hmm. Okay, I don't see it. Um, right, because this does me no good. That's immediately captured. This, hello, this. What do I? Hmm. Okay. So I'm threatening, but he moves, and it's all for nothing. Moves, it's all for nothing. Moves, and it's all for nothing. So I don't think it has anything to do with the rook. The knight, again, so if I bring threaten, it takes me 2 moves to threaten the queen, and the queen has to sit still. Threatens nothing. No, it does. It allows me to come in and bring the queen, but that can't be the move. It is the move. Okay. Um. Okay. Man. Okay. So now what? takes. Man, I don't know. Okay, so I guess those were kind of forcing. I wasn't sure that that was, yeah, that was, it took me way too long to figure that one out. But I got it. So if I bring up this rook, let's check. Blocked, check, blocked. I mean, I wouldn't even do that, right? If it were me, check, blocked. Okay, so is that the move? Oh, no, not blocked. It's pinned with the queen, so he's going to have to block with the rook. So, check. And now, checkmate. But I can't take. There we go. Because the rook was there. I don't like this. Take. Wait, no, hold on. There's got to be something to the fact that I've got this bishop here. Is it that I take? Oh my goodness. So, okay, so hold on. Okay. Take, which is forcing because it's check. Take. Bring in the rook. Okay, so take, check, check. I think that's it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Check, check. Right, because the queen's there the whole time, you know, very menacingly against my queen, but my queen stands in between it and the piece I'm using to either check or mate the king. Okay, so made it to 20. Okay, 10 more to go. Man, I hate these. So takes. So I think I want to take here. I think I want to take here because it's forcing. Take. Ay. Do I just want to? No, I don't. I don't even think I want to. There we go. All right. I wanted to use a pawn. Okay. So black to move. Okay. So let's just say I take, move, take. I think I'm in the better position because my king's closer, but I don't know if taking is what I want to do. I think what I want to do is come in closer with my king first. And of course, okay, something tells me it was the knight. Okay, this is congested. This is where I struggle. Okay. Takes. takes, takes. I'm up a pawn. I'm threatening. Okay, I didn't see that. Oh. Um, do I then block? Do I? Oh my gosh. Okay. Right, because I can take. I would have to take or take, and then they would take. Okay. There's no way I'm supposed to hit it with the. Do I? Is it that I block here? Okay. I'm a little bit surprised about that. Okay, so after all that had come up, I think it was a pawn up. Um, and that's where I struggle to see those things. You know, after all those trades, all that happened was a pawn up. So, okay, so I think if I come check, takes, and then check, blocks, checkmate, because my pawn is still there. So I think I'm sacrificing my queen here. Check, check. Okay. That I didn't see. Check. So check. I'm trying to think. Hold on. If I bring in the bishop, it's protected. It can't move there. King can't move there. King. No, whoa, hold on. King can absolutely hit my. Oy, oy, oy. What am I doing here? Hold on. Let me go back. Oh, that's right. Okay, because he was a spot over. Okay, makes a little bit more sense now. So I think I'm just taking their rook. Right, I'm up. Okay, that's what it was. Sometimes these things take me too long to see. All right, so move puzzle number 23. All right. Takes. You know, that's nothing. Threatens, takes. It's nothing. But here is at least a forcing move. Okay. Well, number 10 all time. Okay, so let's go back. Let's take a look at these ones. All right. Okay, so I started to just pawn rush because 1, 2, 3. They need 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I would get my queen first. So I don't know. Oh, okay. Move. They beat me to it. So now I'm not so sure. I think I want to come over here. Nope. Oh, is it that I take? so bad at this. Let's start over. Let's start over. I'm not thinking these through. Okay, so now I take. They check me. I take. I'm in close enough to get the rook, and the king is going to be too slow to stop this one or this one. I can't protect both. So what I thought was a rather simple pawn run, I was wrong. Okay, so yeah, what did I do here, right? So at first I brought in the king closer, which was not the move. So now I'm thinking it's just that I take with the knight. Okay, so now I think it's just a game of take your pawns and help mine escort him up the board with the king. Okay, so this one that I just did. Yeah, so originally, go ahead and play. Originally, I thought I wanted to go there. I mean, that is something that's just blocked. So I guess I wasn't that smart. So is this just a move? No. Okay. Okay. Now I see it. Immediately, I see it. Okay. If I bring out my queen for check, they can, block or move, whatever. But I then have the free bishop. So, whoa, okay. Taking it back. Okay, that's fair. I suppose I didn't see that. Okay, so got to 20, got to 23, still not to 29. That's what I'm looking for, so 42 minutes. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so it's going to be check, check, checkmate, check, check, checkmate. Okay, so let's just say that I moved. So I think it's a take. Bloop. Okay. This one is just checkmate. Okay. Is it just take? I mean, that's what it looks like. I feel like there's going to be something. No, if I was playing this game, I would just take. Okay. And then take again. Okay. Checkmate. Okay. So I could, in this instance, go check, right? Obviously takes, and then check, and then blocks, and then check again. I think that's what we're looking at here. So I can just take with checkmate because the knight would be protecting. So let's just give it a shot. Okay. Check. Takes. I like this. So check. Well, the moves are there. Which order do I move? So it's got me confused. Because I can push the pawn, which is check. But then what? Check. Okay, nice. Okay. Okay, so I've got a rook targeting, I've got a queen targeting the h7 pawn. If I just bring in the queen, that's going to be checkmate. Okay. Okay. Is there a smothered mate here? Yes, there is. Okay. The queen was. Well, can't go back now. But the pawn couldn't take my knight because the queen was threatening check. If the pawn moved it, anyway. Okay, so this is, I think, again, one of those ones where it's just, kiss of death, get it to scoot, sacrifice the queen, and then back rank mate. So, it's a pretty common pattern. Phone just vibrated. So, this comes with, I can take the queen, right? Or is there something? Is there a way for me to win this? No. I think I just have to take the queen and then take the knight. Yeah, and then the knight would have been left hanging. So again, I think this is another one of those back rank checkmates where it's just, bring it in close, the king's got to scoot, then sacrifice the queen for the back rank mate. So, little kiss of death, check, checkmate. Okay. So, gosh, exact same pattern again, right? Because the next move is going to be threatening check. Well, no, next move would be checkmate. So we've got to do something forcing on each move. So, again, it's a common pattern. Check, check, checkmate. I think this is, again, very similarly, there's a lot threatening me here, so any move just has to be forcing. I believe if I bring my queen here, that's just, yeah, the king's trapped enough and nothing's protecting. That would just be checkmate, right? King can't move here, king can't move here, so checkmate. Okay. Okay, white to move. I feel like, oh yeah, they're super close to, oh, I was trying to figure out, how I can bring my rook over and, where would be the best spot to do this. So this is actually good for endgames with a king and a rook. If you ever end up in a position where you've just got a king and a rook versus a king, if you can work your way, and this takes a little bit of practice, if you can work your way to put the knight on the outside edge, and hold him there with a rook, and put your king directly across from him. If you can ever get in that position, you just drop the rook, and it's checkmate. So, it took me a little bit too long to see that. So, here is check. But then what does the king do? The king cannot escape that way. The king's going to have to move here or here. And because this bishop protects that square, I can then just pop the queen over. So I think it's going to be a 2-move check. Mate, okay. So here's what I'm wondering. Do I bring the queen here, and then it's check? Or do I bring the knight here, and it's check? I think it's the queen, and that's because if I move over the rook, okay, if I bring over the rook, this is protected, it's not moving out. The king is going to be forced to shift. But then what? So what I'd rather do is do the same thing. Force the king away from these squares, and then take the rook, and it's oh, ooh. No, because that's protected. Glad I saw that. And that's why I take the time to think these things through. So I'm going to come up with a check. King can't move. Moves there. And then checkmate with the queen. So that's what I'm going to choose. Oh! So now, okay, not what I was expecting. So now, if I move here, we're still cut off. It's checkmate. Oh gosh, okay. It's check. And now it's checkmate. Jeez, okay. Alright, white to move. Yeah, so, a moment ago I had said, if you've ever got your king directly in front, right? And you've got the king on the outer edge, and you've got the rook covering that, that second layer. If you've got your king directly in front of the other king, then you just drop the rook back. We're obviously not there, and the reason I'm not even going to take a moment to position my king there is because then the king can move. There's a fruit fly. I don't know what that is. If I position my king there, my king can continue to work his way. The black king can continue to scoot away from me. What I do notice that's a little bit different from the previous position, what I was explaining, on a rook and king versus king endgame, is that I've also got this bishop protecting these, what do they often call that, a mating net, mate net. So if I drop the rook, he can't escape here, which is the reason I would prefer my king there to begin with. So with those squares protected, blocked, whatever, the king cannot move anywhere. So I'll just drop the rook. Okay. So if I threaten the king, the king has to move. I feel like this is going to be something where I'm supposed to check the king and end up with the queen. Okay, so if I go check, my initial thought is, of course, the king will take. And I'll take the queen. But, if I was white and I got checked here, I would try to move closer to my queen to protect it in the event that I got taken. So I don't know that that's the answer. But then I just harass the heck out of that king, right? Bring over the rook. Okay, so that's the first thing I see. It's not my favorite, so now I'm wondering, do I push a pawn? That doesn't feel like the answer. I hate when there's so much going on. I'm going to do it. Okay. Oh, okay. See, and it's just not the move I would have made. So I'm not, again, I'm not good enough to question a computer, but it's just not the move I would have made. Okay, we're already at puzzle 20 without any serious, um, without any mistakes. So let me tell you where I see the checkmate, and it is in that initially I want to park right there. It's the first thing that my eyes see. The very next thing that my eyes see is I just lose the queen. Of course, then I think, well, maybe I'll just come in nice and close, give the king a little kiss. No, the pawn takes. Whenever I'm using a queen to attack the king, and the king's got, in the little 9 squares that we've got right here around the 9 squares, including the king, the 8 around it, whenever there's a diagonal, right, these 2 little kitty corners are taken away. If I can put my queen right here, it's checkmate, because I'm protecting here, and the king can't escape. So what I see is checkmate. White to move. Okay. So if I check, king cannot move here, king can move here, king can move here. So I think perhaps what I want to do is move my king. Right, because then my king is here. These are all protected. That's also protected. And then it's... I want to think... Okay. Okay. It does create a reason to pause. Okay, so black to move. So any move here is going to be discovered check. I think what I want to do is bring it all the way down here. Okay, I'm checked. And then wherever the king moves, wherever the block comes from, and then take the rook. So okay, that one was a little bit easier to see. Geez, it's already been an hour. Man, I just want to get to 30 so bad. Okay. So at this point, just about anything that I do needs to be forcing. And I say that because immediately I see check, takes, back rank checkmate on my end. So, so no matter what I do, this needs to be forcing. Okay, so here's what I see. This rook is pinned. So if I come in with check, oh, okay, well, then I hang a queen because I'm a knucklehead. Perhaps, okay, can I check, takes, check, because the king cannot move here. Wait, hold on. Check, take. So the king would be there. So if I bring in for another check, king cannot, oh sorry, the king would be here now. King could not move here, could not move here, could move here. don't know why that one was. Once I was done with it, that one felt easy enough that I'm not sure why I struggled to see that sequence. Um, okay. Okay, 24. So, even if I just get 50% of them from now on, I should make it to 30. But I'm going to, of course, say that and jinx myself. Okay. Immediately, here's what I see. I see check, king moves, whoop, king, okay, so black move. So check, you could block, I could take. I feel like what I'm looking at here is just a free bishop. But this is, this is supposed to be above. The last one was at 1346, so this should be around in the neighborhood of a 1400 puzzle. I don't know that that's a 1400 level, right? So what I'm worried about is that I'm missing something, right? So if I play queen, blocks, take, take. So check, blocks, takes. I think this is it. Okay, so I wasn't sure what they would play, but now looking at it, because that's the way they decided was to block with the queen. White had several options. Now I feel like I've just got a hanging bishop. Okay. All right, so we just need to get through 5 more, and we will have set my record. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. So if I take, if I sacrifice a rook, take, is it that I could bring in another rook? Right, because there's check. Or is it takes, check, and then, okay, so that's it. So, the first thing I look at, because of course my attention is on all these squares right here, right? I'm looking at all these squares. What I have to keep in mind is that I still have a lonely little rook down here. So, of course, well, my vision is drawn here, and I think, oh, if I just push my queen, it gets taken, and then I'm up here, and the king, black can find a way to defend itself, because I've got that rook. That's not what I want to do. I want to just bring the queen right there. Okay, 26. All right. White to move. Pawn up, takes, check, king moves, takes, king takes. I don't like any of that. I don't think the king's gonna move. I don't think the rook is going to move. Gosh, I really struggle with these. Okay. If I bring up my rook, check. Now, oh man, there's so many options. push the pawn, takes. Okay, push the pawn, takes, takes. Right? But then okay. Okay. So check. I do. I think I want to take their rook and then I just take the pawn at the end. Okay. Didn't have to get that far, but I think that's what it was. Because then it's a king and 2 pawns versus a king and 1. Okay, yeah. These are too complicated for me. Okay. So, black to move. Okay. Check. Oh, okay. Okay, alright. Oh, so everything's just going to be pawn endgames, black to move. I think I just want to move, right? So move, 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 move. Gosh. Oh, okay, now, come on. I just want to get to 30. I just want to get to 30. Man. Okay, white to move. Come on. Alright, so takes. What are we doing here? I think this is an attempt at me to capture the rook. So check, blocks, check. Oh my god, I get this far and then lose 3 in a row. Oh man, okay, not gonna get to 30 tonight, but dang, I was getting close. Streak, 27 in a row. Okay, well, we'll do a quick review. Man, oh man, so close. Okay, so play. So, yeah, so what I do, I went check, right? So maybe it's just... Okay, because now I'm just walking up my pawn. Okay, fair enough. Okay. So I moved here. No, oh yes, that's right, I did move there. I, you know, okay. If the computer says so. Okay. So what did I do? I moved here, right? That's not the answer. Oh, Adam. Okay. Here, let me go back. I see what it is. Okay. Alright, so right now, trying to capture, right, we've got 2 rooks. I'm sorry, they've got 2 rooks. I've got a bishop, 2 rooks and a queen. I've got a rook, bishop, and queen. So, what I'm doing here is I'm taking 1 rook. Okay, so now they're just queen and rook versus queen and bishop. But what I can do here is fork the king and the rook. So now I'm up material. So That one was a little bit easier to see. So let me just, for the sake of it, I suppose what I had in mind was, I'd rather have all three of these pieces trying to walk up and compete with these two pieces. But now that I think about it, if I do this, it does grant me the opportunity to keep my king moving forward and shoulder against that pawn to get it up to promote. So, it draws my king even that further away. So I feel like I learned a little something there for endgames. And then this one, here's why I'm coming back to replay. It's because I'm not sure. Okay? So if I play the king and they play the pawn, I play my pawn, they turn into a queen, and it doesn't check me. Okay, I'm not in check, I can still move, and I could come in with a queen. They could then check me. Like for example, I could go king, and they could go pawn. I could go pawn, and they could go queen. So why it is that the computer sees this as the move, I don't know. I'm not sure that a king would do that, or that an opponent would do that, instead of pushing their pawn at the same time to get their queen first. So, okay, is it right? Because let's say they didn't move their king's still here. Push, push. Then I've got my queen first. They're not in check. They get a queen, and I'm not in check. But now I can check them. Okay. So I do see it now. I do see, but this is just hard to tell. In that position, I think no matter who my opponent is, whether they're good or whether they're lower rated, like me, would they move their king or would they move their pawn? I don't know what I would expect from somebody, but I suppose that's what I get for, or that's why I'm doing these. So let's take a look at this one more time just to make sure that I got it. The idea here is, if I can, well, actually, here's the other question. Why? Here's why. Here's why I can't start that way. Because if I bring my queen and they push with the pawn, and I take the rook, then they take the rook and we're even. So that's why I have to take one first, put him in check, and then use the fork, because now I'm out material. Okay, well, got awfully close, but learned a few things, so I feel good about it. Thanks for joining.